Hi guys, Cosmo Bliss here. Today I want to talk about assumptions because my life circumstances and situations keep pulling it up and bringing it to my attention in so many different areas with family and just other aspects of life. But sorry, Ozzy, my son, is playing some games on the couch, so little sounds will go, but I hope that's not too distracting for you guys. Anyways, today I really want to talk about making assumptions, and maybe the assumptions that we make on others and the assumptions that others make on us, and how making assumptions isn't fair for anyone in any party. And I did this one of the last few videos, and I find it's a little bit easier to kind of categorize what I'm about to talk about. Oops. So I took some notes. This is my husband's phone. I took a photo so that I can read it to you guys. It says, stop making assumptions. You aren't a mind reader. Chances are you haven't analyzed the person or situation to its fullest capacity, and the judgment you are casting on others may be a deep-rooted projection of your own inner workings that you place denial on. To assume a situation or a person without knowing or investigating it can often lead to pitfalls. Why not just communicate? Take a level of respect and maturity to fully try to understand things and people without labeling it out of your own pre-contextual idea of what elusive box you think it belongs in. I feel like in most of my videos I try my best to call myself out, to show how human I am, to not try to manipulate and to make you all think I am this perfect being who doesn't make mistakes, who doesn't feel certain emotions, who is above it all, because that's just not so. We're all human. We all make assumptions about so many things in our lives, and maybe the practice and the act of making assumptions comes from a place of anxiety or of some type of insecurity or inner instability. But any time in my life that I've made assumptions about someone or something or a circumstance, I've often been wrong. And I think that it comes from a place of impulsivity, to almost want to label and to put something, like I said, in a box for our own mind's security and safety. But ultimately, it's not fair to make assumptions, because the complexity of people, individuals, life situations is, you can't fully understand it from an outside perspective, and especially if you don't know it on a personal level. And even on this channel, I've made videos about some of the assumptions that I've had in my own life. We're all guilty of it. This channel is all about bringing it back, calling out my own bullshit, and reminding you that you have the capacity, and I have the capacity, to be more mature and be more respectful and have more integrity towards people and things, to give everyone an opportunity to prove themselves. And if you do have some type of negative assumption about a person, specifically a person because you can communicate with them, open up a communication with them. If you don't agree with what they do or their life situation and you think it's personal, I think the most important thing is that we all have the power to use our words to try to investigate and try to understand where someone's coming from. With family, I feel like this happens a lot because you grow up with these people, your parents, your siblings, whoever's in your family, or whoever you're in a relationship with. You might assume what they're thinking, how they feel. And I can't say this enough, but any time that I myself have assumed what my husband is thinking, I'm like 99.9% of the time wrong. And anytime he's done that about me, he's usually wrong, and it's something we have to talk about after. Because when you assume, you take action on that assumption. You make impulsive decisions because you've made up the idea that you know that person, you know what they're thinking, you know why this fight happened, because it's all in your head that the story already makes sense, that your assumption is so accurate that nothing can break it. And what I read earlier about mind reading, that's something I learned while being in therapy, is that I used to make a lot of assumptions, especially towards my husband, about what he was thinking, what he was feeling, because I thought, this is the man that I know deeply. I've suffered with him, I've loved with him, I've grown with him, so I must know what it's like, you know, when a situation happens, how he must feel about it after. But I've been so wrong so many times, and my therapist said, you aren't a mind reader. And that has stuck to me for so long, is that whenever I'm on the verge of thinking, oh, well, he must think this about me, or the situation, I have to pull back and literally say out loud, I'm not a mind reader. You can't presume to know everything. And if you want to make that presumption about someone, guaranteed it's better off to communicate and just ask them what their intentions are. When you communicate with a certain level of openness and non-judgment, when you communicate about something difficult or something that makes you uncomfortable that you're presuming about someone, you're gonna be surprised that it's not as bad as you've made it. It's not as rigid and negative as you've made it. And maybe it is, and maybe that's something that needs to be communicated. But to make false pretenses, to take action on false pretenses, and to abide by those false ideas because you are so stone set in your idea that someone is a certain way, almost proves to the universe that you're so closed off from getting to deeply know someone, or giving someone the opportunity to prove themselves to you. No one can change or prove themselves if you are so instantly just closed off to, this is who they are, this is how I know them to be. I need to, in my life, especially with family, like I've said, when you know someone so well, it's so easy. It's almost easier to just assume how they feel and to hold a grudge against how you think they feel. Inevitably, that starts fights. It also severs a relationship. If you are interested in a friendship, it severely just, how do I explain it? It severs the possibility and the potentiality to develop something if you've already set your mind to the idea that it has negative nuance to it. We need to be cautious and aware of where we're presuming things. And if we instinctually and intuitively feel something is a certain way, you have every right to feel that intuitively. But to to spread it to others or to say out loud, even to yourself, this is the way it is, without actually getting validation that that is how someone feels, that's a dangerous place to be in. It just closes life off to the potentiality of new pathways, I guess. I've presumed many things in my life. I have made assumptions that certain of my family members don't love me, and anytime that boiled sadness and anger comes out, it happens to be like, I'll talk to my mom and she'll be like, that's so not true. It's just you're perceiving that this connection, because it's shifting, that this person doesn't love you. And I'm sure we do that with everything. Things just change, and just because, you know, someone wants distance, or if someone wants a relationship to change, it doesn't have to be black or white. I think a lot of it has to do with literal black and white thinking, assuming someone or something is just so black and white, especially if you don't have the facts. You need to fact check. You need to intellectually rationalize, why am I assuming this specific thing in my life? Do I actually have a full scope of ideas of what it is? Or am I just, from past experience of past relationships, putting this label on this person because it's easier and because past relationships felt that way, and automatically I know how it is? I do this so much. You do this so much. We do this so much. And it really harms us, I think. It really harms us. So the next time you may want to make a presumption about a job, a person, a new friendship, your relationship, a family member, whatever it may be, just take a moment, take a step back. Fact check, rationalize your emotions, rationalize your assumptions. Think about it, give it some space and time, and if it still doesn't sit well within you and intuitively something feels off, take a step back. And also, if you're comfortable enough, bring it up, communicate with somebody. I can keep going on about that, but yeah, we all need to be more mindful of what we label and put away in our head, what we judge, what we are so determined to put something and label it as. It takes a certain level of, I believe, maturity and respect to fully try to understand someone and their intentions, or to, you know, if you have a life circumstance or situation, not even with a person, just like an event that has occurred, to kind of just maybe speak with someone and have them listen to you and explain the situations, and maybe have someone on an outside third party try to have an experience non-biased to listen to why you're assuming that this might have happened, to get it out of your head, because your emotions and your impulsivity and maybe insecurity is telling you it's one thing, when from an outside perspective it might not be. It might not be so bad. I need to, and you need to, and we all need to be a little more kind to each other. Give someone the opportunity to prove themselves before you put them in a box and label them as not good enough, or you label them as not worthy enough to be in your life. Give people the opportunity. They most often will surprise you with their intentions of who they are. I think this stems into just being a little more hopeful, being a little more optimistic with life. It's not black and white. That's just, it's not fair to do to ourselves and to do to others. And I'm not gonna end this video telling you to do all these things. It's about me too. Every video I upload, I don't want to sit here and say, you. This is an us thing. You watch me because you relate to me, because I'm telling you of an experience that I want to change within myself. This is an us thing. We have so much capacity. We have so much ability to grow, to mature, to self-reflect, to self-analyze, self-correct. And with that, we can be amazing friends and companions to other people. Ozzy, you want to say hi? Let's end the video. Come say hi. Come here. Come here. Come here. Say hello. You haven't been on here in so many years. Is it your birthday in a couple days?
Yeah.
How old are you turning?
I'm turning 4.
4? What do you want for your birthday?
I want to climb on my son.
You want to Kylo?
But a princess way away says red.
So Kylo Ren lightsaber and a Princess Leia lightsaber?
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
And I want the lightsaber.
Yeah. Do you have
And I want to cook, and I want a food set.
Okay. Is there anything you want to tell anybody?
And I want to walkie-talkie.
That's a lot of things.
I want a pack of walkie-talkies like that one and that one, and that one and that one. That one's yellow and that one's blue. And that one's yellow and that one's blue.
Okay, you want to say goodbye to everybody? That's awesome that you want all those things for your birthday.
And that one's red.
Ozzy loves Star Wars. Loves Star Wars. Loves Lord of the Rings. You haven't watched Lord of the Rings yet. You just love Legolas, right?
Yeah.
Ozzy's almost 4, going on 40. You live for Star Wars, don't you? You know every character, even your uncle, you have to correct him with who everybody is. You know everything about Star Wars. That's so cool. Okay, let's say goodbye.
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 Goodbye.